Welcome back to Buzzer to Buzzer.
All right, guys. So this week marks the third week of the 2020 NFL season, and per the usual, every week we make our top five key matchup predictions, and today will be no different. However, today there's going to be one more thing which we will be doing, that being that we're going to pick our upsets of the week, looking at the spread which Las Vegas has going on. So without any further ado, let's get to it. All right, guys. So the first game which we're going to be talking about is going to be between the Las Vegas Raiders and the New England Patriots led by Cam Newton. Now, guys, in this game, the Patriots are very heavily favored to win by 6 points. What are we feeling about this game?
I don't want to call an upset right at the first game we predict. But I don't know, man. I'm looking at the Raiders right now, and what I said last episode, when they versed the Saints and beat them, I think Derek Carr is going to be on a roll this year. I think he's going to perform like how he did in 2015, 2016. Darren Waller is going to be a huge part of that. So is Josh Jacobs. Their offense is looking pretty good right now. And I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout, but I think that the Raiders will actually edge out the Patriots in this game.
No, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. I think that Cam Newton with the Patriots has been an ideal matchup, and it's a perfect fit for him. He's running the ball really well. He's throwing the ball really well. I just don't think the Raiders' defense has enough pieces to stop Cam Newton. And I think the Patriots win this one pretty easily.
Yeah, no, for sure. When the Raiders won on Monday night against the Saints, a lot of it was attributed to the New Orleans Saints' sloppy play on defense. I mean, they were horrific on the defensive side of the ball. Not to take away credit from the Raiders' offense. I mean, they did play a fantastic game, but part of it was also the mistakes that New Orleans was making. And I don't see a Bill Belichick-led team making those same mistakes on defense. And I think the New England Patriots win this game here.
Exactly. I'm going to have to disagree with you, Abia, here. I'm going to have to take the New England Patriots. I mean, last week was just an outlier. We saw the New Orleans Saints having 16 penalties for like 150 yards. That's not about to happen again. Bill Belichick knows how to control his defense. And not to mention, like already that you said, about the offense getting rolling, Cam Newton picking up where he left off, looking like an MVP caliber quarterback. I think the New England Patriots are just going to keep on building that foundation and become an even better team and get the win this week. All right, guys, so let's move on to our second key matchup which we shall be talking about, that being between our hometown Chicago Bears and the Atlanta Falcons. Now, guys, despite the Falcons blowing a pretty large lead last week against the Cowboys, they are still the favorites of this game by 3 points. Now, guys, is this game going to allow Mitch Trubisky to continue his 2020 MVP season?
I'm gonna get started here. I think the Bears get killed in this game. I think the Atlanta Falcons easily take this. The Bears' offense is no match for the Falcons' offense. Mr. Trubisky, Matt Ryan, no comparison. I mean, the Bears' wideouts and the Falcons' wideouts, again, no comparison. I think the Bears' defense will do a little bit to limit the Falcons' offense, but I don't think the Bears' offense gets going. I think the Falcons take this one easily.
Yeah. Yeah. So the problem, like Arden said, in most games with the Chicago Bears, it's not their defense, obviously, it's their offense. It's their inconsistency, Trubisky's inconsistency, their wide receivers' inconsistency. Every player on that team is probably inconsistent, in my opinion. So against the Falcons, who always have a good offense, okay, forget their defense, forget like them choking a lead against the Cowboys. Just talking about strictly their offense with Calvin Ridley coming up with Matt Ryan. Like, I don't think the Bears will have an answer for that. And, yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Falcons on this one.
See, that's where I'm gonna have to disagree with you guys. You guys are saying that the the Bears offense has to compare to the Falcons offense, but I think the real key matchup here is the Falcons offense versus the Bears defense. If the Bears defense wins that matchup, the Bears will easily win the game. It comes down to the matchup between the Bears defense and the Falcons offense. And I do think the Bears defense can take it there.
Exactly. And, for those reasons, Harsh, I'm going with this game being my upset of the week. I believe that truly the Chicago Bears are going to get off to a 3-0 start here with Mitch Trubisky. Sure, inconsistency has been a part of his name. It's been his middle name, I guess we could even say, for laughing purposes. But honestly, it takes experience building that foundation, going back to that idea. And these first two games, he probably got that feeling that, hey, we got lucky. I think that Mr. Trubisky is going to walk in with his game face on. And not to mention that currently Julio Jones is questionable for this game on Sunday, considering that he re-injured his hamstring. And if Julio Jones plays, I feel like that our cornerback, Jalen Johnson, he can get the clamps on him and hopefully we can get edge out the win. All right, guys, let's move on to our third key matchup, which we'll be discussing, that being between the Dallas Cowboys against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, guys, deservingly so, the Seahawks are considered the favorites in this game by 4.5 points. And does this game really have a question, or are we going to see a heck of a showdown between Dak Prescott and Russell Wilson?
You know, the Seahawks and the Falcons, they're both birds, but they're not the same birds. I have to take the Seahawks here over the Cowboys.
I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think both offenses are going to light it up. Both quarterbacks can do really well in this matchup. But I think I'm going to go with the Seahawks on this one. You know, Mike McCarthy doesn't have much luck playing in Seattle, as we know. Dak Prescott, you know, on the road hasn't been that consistent of a quarterback. I just think Russell Wilson does more in this matchup to win.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's pretty obvious who I'm going to go with. Seahawks, in my opinion, this year is their best year so far until they get our Super Bowl win against the Broncos to make the Super Bowl. So I think that this is going to be like a historic run for them. I feel like they have a lot of weapons this year. DK Metcalf is improving every single hater wrong me, honestly. I think the only one who believed in him is me and Rayan.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think that the Seahawks win this, and Dak is going to be inconsistent, like always.
Exactly, Avi. You couldn't have said it better. You know, you and I said it time and time again. The boy DK Metcalf was slept upon, and now he's proven everybody wrong. This game is going to be no different, I feel like. He's going to go off right. I'm going, 100 yards receiving and probably a touchdown to complement that. And besides that, we know the greatness of Russell Wilson, the amazing show he put on last week. I expect nothing less, and I think the Seahawks are easily going to win this game. All right, guys, so let's move on to our fourth key matchup, which we're predicting, that being between the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints. Now, guys, the Saints are favored to win this game by 3 points. However, do we consider them the favorites considering last week's performance?
Yeah, so I'm not even going to go with that. This is an upset. I think the Packers for sure should be favored in this matchup because of what we saw last week with the performance of Drew Brees without Michael Thomas. Like Drew Brees without Michael Thomas is absolutely screwed in my opinion. That offense, disregarding all the penalties that they got, like in general, he needs Michael Thomas, and Aaron Rodgers, like with Aaron Jones especially. Don't forget about him. They're a great running back this year. I think that the Packers should take this dub pretty.
Yeah, I'm about to agree with the V. I'm not even call this my upset of the week, but by the spread, technically it is an upset. But I think the Packers should be favored here. Packers offense is playing lights out right now, and it's been the exact opposite story with the Saints offense. Especially with no home crowd in New Orleans, I don't think the Packers have anything stopping them. I think Packers take this one very easily.
The New Orleans Saints did have a bad showing. I think the Packers still come out winning this game, but it won't be as bad as we saw them play against the Raiders. I don't think a Sean Payton-led team can have that sloppy of a performance 2 nights in a row. Obviously, they played poorly, but it'll be a lot closer this time. But I could see the Packers winning this time.
Exactly. As much as it hurts to say that I'm rooting for the Packers in this game, and I believe they'll win, but I think it's just the facts. Last week, sure, like Harshie said, it was a very messy game. And I feel like that's just because that was the first game without their star receiver, Michael Thomas. This week, I feel like that Drew Brees and the experience he's accumulated over his career, he's going to come out, play a great game, get used to and more adjusted to his other receivers, like we all know, Emmanuel Sanders and others as well. But despite that, I feel like the Green Bay Packers will edge out. We've seen the great show they've been putting on for the past 2 weeks. This game should prove no different. All right, guys, and now let's move on to our fifth and arguably one of the best games which could happen throughout this season and the third week of football, that being between the Kansas City Chiefs led by Patrick Mahomes against the Baltimore Ravens led by Lamar Jackson. Now, guys, surprisingly, the Baltimore Ravens are the favorites in this game by 3.5 points. Now, what are we expecting for this game, and are we about to see a great QB duel go down?
No, I'm going to be taking the over on this one. I'm going to go Chiefs win by more than 4 points. This is my upset of the week. I don't know how the hell the Ravens are favored because I understand they played well, but Patrick Mahomes outdueled Lamar Jackson every single time, and he's going to do it once again. Patrick Mahomes is a better quarterback. Chiefs are the better overall offense. I know the Ravens have a decent defense, but I think Patrick Mahomes gets it done.
Unlike Arden, it does not surprise me that the Ravens are favored this game. I don't have to disagree with him because you saw what Pat Mahomes against the Chargers defense and how he didn't perform until like the fourth quarter when he needed to Tyreek Hill. The The Ravens are not like the Chargers. Their defense is a lot better, in my opinion. Or maybe not a lot better, but definitely better. They have a lot of weapons this year. Their offense, defense, they're a complete team in general. The Chiefs' defense has never been like a super strong point in their game. It's always been their offense, right? I don't think they're going to be able to handle Lamar, but I won't be able to say that about the Ravens' defense handling Mahomes, because I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to play good defense, not give him a lot of points or passes, and not let his receivers score. And I think it's going to be a pretty close game with the Ravens edging them out.
Yeah, the Chiefs had a very shaky showing against the Chargers. I mean, that game really should not have gone to overtime looking at how that Chiefs team is built. And that was a game that Justin Herbert, in his NFL debut, almost won for the Chargers over the Chiefs. And the Baltimore Ravens are an exponentially better team than the Chargers. And I think this is going to be an easy win for the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm going to reside with Patrick Mahomes and the talent he's shown. We talked about this. There's always going to be a down game, a game which somebody doesn't come out and perform to their max ability. And I feel like, frankly, that was last week. Sure, did Justin Herbert give the Chiefs a run for their money? Yes. I mean, the man found out 5 seconds before he went onto the field that he's going to be a starting quarterback and still put the Chiefs in that position in an overtime game. But I feel like this week the Chiefs will bounce back, their offense will get rolling. And although the Baltimore Ravens do have a great defense, I feel like the Chiefs will edge out in this game. All right, guys. For sure, the third week of the NFL 2020 season will be a great one filled with many exciting games. As always, we will be doing our recap video in which we go over who was right and wrong the following Tuesday, next week meeting. And as always, guys, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below. What do you think is going to be the best game to watch and any takes which you have as well. As always, guys, take care, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. See you guys.